Welcome to your January 15th through the 31st connection session, because that's what I'm calling them now, where we're going to be looking at you as well as your person of interest. First, we're going to be looking at your energy as well as your person, the energy between the two of you, and then we're going to be going into another spread, but we're going to be looking at how your person of interest is thinking as well as feeling about you and whatnot or whatever. So let's go ahead and jump right in and see what is going on with the energy with my Librans and your person of interest. And just for continuity, I'm going to go ahead and pick the cards for how they're thinking and feeling about you as well. All right. So the card representing my Librans, we have the Two of Swords in the reverse. So more or less, my wonderful Librans, you guys were at a crossroads up until this particular point. But at present, I feel you guys have a sense of clarity. So this could be more or less at a crossroads in your personal life. It very well could be in reference to your person, but it's more or less not necessarily being sure how it is that you wanted to chart forward. But in order to gain the clarity of how it is that you guys elected or elect to move forward, it's more or less advice to drop into your heart space, more or less calm your mind to get out of your head and back into your heart so you know how it is that you want to maneuver forward with yourself or in reference to this particular connection or partnership. Now, for your person of interest, interesting, they're pretty clear on what it is that they want to do. If my camera could be nice for, all right. Thank you, camera. Thank you. We have the Hanged Man in the reverse. Those of you who have been with me for some time know one day my mind went blank and I totally forgot like what sign was aligned with this card. So I said, we're just going to start going with Pisces, Aquarius, and Cancer. So any of those that are relevant to you. But for your person of interest is pretty clear. I feel leading up into this particular time frame. This is interesting though. Yours is more day-to-day life kind of crossroads. I feel for your person of interest, this is more divinely guided or like life cycle guided, if I could say it that way. So your person of interest more or less has been in a place where they've taken some time to kind of look back at their past, right? And seeing how they've been engaging with people, decisions that they've been making, or just how they've been maneuvering through life, like where that has got them, right? And I feel that they've come to a place at present where there's a level of clarity that they have in reference to this. So it's more or less, if we were to say this in a romantical sense, or, you know, because I don't know yet, if you guys have been together for some time, it's more or less kind of being at a crossroads in the relationship, but your person getting to a place where they kind of see how they've had a hand in things getting to where it is that they are. So as opposed to kind of potentially seeing it as, you know, like a contribution from your end or external forces or what have you, is them kind of seeing, okay, what I've experienced up to this point, I can see where I've made decisions that have caused things to kind of go in this direction, and them more or less taking personal accountability for it. Because me personally, I see the Hangman as a personal accountability card. And of course, when it's in the reverse, it's like me taking full responsibility for my hand and how things have panned out, right? So I feel like for them, it's kind of like a juncture in their life where it was divinely guided for them to have an epiphany such as this. Now, the energy between the two of you, interesting. We have the Sun in the reverse. That is my half-hearted happiness card. That is whenever we find ourselves in positions in life where our lives are marred by superficiality or the look of things. So it's like everything looks dope externally, but when we look kind of behind the veneer externally, things aren't as fulfilling. You know what I'm saying? So kind of taking this into account with it being the energy between you and your person of interest. I don't know why is my screen, y'all? Hold on. My screen got like dark. I'm like, look, we ain't got time for this. We was recording, okay? But anyway, with this card showing up between the two of you, this would be speaking to the state of your relationship. So more or less that there's a level of half-hearted happiness here, and more or less like on the outside, everything is kind of copacetic between the two of you. Like, nice relationship, Instagrammable, you know what I mean? Like nice house, nice cars, whatever. But, underneath all of that, there is an issue between the two of you when it comes to being truly fulfilled with each other. Like, and I have to say it, where it is that both of you are in this connection, it's not necessarily saying that the two of you aren't each other's end all be all, but it's more or less that it looks better on the outside, like from the outside looking into you guys partnership, it's ideal, but behind that, the two of you aren't necessarily fulfilled. Now what I'm seeing with this, in contrast to the two of you, is more or less your person of interest is kind of, like I said, with the hangman in the reverse, aware of how it is that they've made contributions to things getting to this point. And I feel with you guys, Libra, you guys are kind of on the fence of how it is you feel about that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I feel like you guys don't necessarily know how to move forward in action as of yet. And I feel that's probably why I said that, of the sense of, if there isn't a decision that you guys have made, right, as of yet, there's a need for you to drop into your heart space and to more or less get clear on how it is that you're truly feeling about it in reference to this connection. Now, getting into your person of interest and how it is that they're thinking and feeling about you, the first card that we have is the Four of Cuppies. Ooh, it's interesting. And then we have the Two of Wands. Wow, you guys are really at a crossroads here. Let's see. I don't know why my screen just got so dark, y'all. It's freaking me out. And then the other card that we have is the Chariot. That is Cancerian energy. And in their conscious thoughts, because those first three are their fleeting thoughts. Okay, in their conscious thoughts, we have the Empress. And that is Taurus as well as Libran energy. So that's a good thing. They're seeing you in your true essence consciously. So how this is looking to me, Libras, is more or less your person is seeing you guys in this crossroads energy. They're seeing you at an impasse. It's more or less, they're very clear that you're not happy how things have been up to this particular point in the connection between the two of you. And I feel that their fears with this Chariot and this Two of Wands is and this is a theme I've been seeing a lot this month. I saw it with Taurus. I saw it with Scorpio as well. Their fear with this is more or less, they fear you're on the fence where you're deciding, do you want to stay or do you want to go? Right. So it's more or less them picking up on that. But I'm saying picking up on the fact that you're at a crossroads. I don't know for sure if, your crossroads is, should I stay or should I go? But this is more or less how your person is seeing it, because they're seeing you as more or less unfulfilled in this connection with them. Like how things have been up to this point, like it's just not, your cup of tea in so many words. So I think this is more or less how they're kind of trying to make sense of things, is because it is that you're unfulfilled. Their fear is more or less with this Chariot that you're wanting to move forward. That's their biggest fear in all of this, that you'd want to move on past this relationship. But they're more or less seeing you as stagnant, not making a move forward. But they feel like the reason why you're not making any moves as of yet is because you're weighing within your mind, do you want to stick this out with them? Do you want to stay with them? Or do you want to move forward completely and leave this behind? But like I said, in their conscious thoughts, they see you as the Empress. So they're still seeing you as, amazing as you are. They're seeing you in your highest version. They're seeing you in your highest light. They're seeing you as abundant. They're seeing you as a partner in so many words. Now, the thing that I do like about this, where I can help up for your person, is the fact that they're in the Hangman reverse. And what I was saying about that's personal accountability. So if your person has been kind of screwing up to this point, they're aware of what contributions they've made that have led things to be in the sun and the reverse. You know what I'm saying? If it's, that they've been one-sided in the partnership, like they've been working way too much and not really paying attention to you. They haven't really been so much of a support system. It's like they're aware of that. And looking at this Empress, they're still seeing you in a positive light, but I feel their thoughts are like marred, if you will, with a fear of you leaving them, in so many words, because of, the decisions that they've made. And I mean, sometimes, I'm not saying that that is the case, but sometimes that is a possibility. Sometimes, even if a person comes to the realization of what it is that they've been doing that kind of led to the demise or the discord in a partnership, sometimes, and I'm not saying that's the case for you guys specifically, but it's like sometimes even if you do love a person, you can do so much damage to where it's kind of hard to kind of come back from that. And I feel that's more or less where your person is. It's like them being afraid that, yeah, I see what it is that I did now, but is it too late to really fix it? Like, are we, past the point of no return here? Now, in their subconscious impressions, goodness, we have the Judgment in the reverse. And with just to give you a little backstory on how this is positioned in here, with it being subconscious impressions and projections, this is where they actually are. And this is where they're kind of projecting onto you where you are. And with this being the Judgment in the reverse, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because with your person, it's like they know they have the opportunity to get out of this if they wanted to, and they could go to something else. But and they're not consciously aware that they're here because it's in their subconscious. But it's like, and this energy came up in Pisces as well. So if you guys have that in your chart, or if your person is a Pisces, then, maybe don't check that out. Never mind. Forget I said that. Because that's one of those where I just don't cross watch, don't watch it. Forget I said that. Okay, moving right along. Anywho, so with the Judgment in the reverse, what we're saying here is that there's an opportunity for you guys to leave from this situation. Like you could, but you've made the decision to stay put, like to stay where it is that you are. And with this being in their energy of projection, this is also what they're simultaneously projecting onto you. So I feel this is kind of where their hope is coming from, because they're like, nah, they're not, they wouldn't leave. So it's kind of like when these fleeting thoughts are coming in, it's like, what if they've pulled away because they're considering, like leaving us, divorcing us, breaking up with us, moving out, like whatever the case. Then it's like, they're like, no, because they wouldn't do that because we've been together for, 10 years, or, we have a kid together. Like they wouldn't do that. Like they couldn't, because, we're too tied in, you know what I'm saying? So that's something that I feel is kind of helping up for you guys, is as much as they have, these fleeting thoughts of you leaving, it's like they're talking themselves out of it. Like, nah, they wouldn't do that. There's no way that they would do that type of deal. Now their feelings towards you, interesting. We have the Two of Pentacles. Okay, if I could just cover my face. Okay, yeah, all right. We have the Two of Pentacles. So more or less, it's like they're unsure. They're feeling like you're still weighing your options in reference to them. So, I mean, what this kind of says to me, Libra, and the other signs that I've gotten readings like this for, I tell them the same thing. I said this to Scorpio. I said the same thing to Taurus. Even if your person is not super like woo-woo or spiritually inclined, we can't ignore the fact that normal human intuition exists, right? So by nature, we pick up on things. And then I say this too a lot of times to women, like thinking that men are not intuitive. Men are extremely intuitive, even if they're not woo-woo. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing is, it's like a lot of times we could be in a space and think that we're really good at kind of hiding what's going on inside of us. Like, say if we're kind of like a stoic, kind of person where we don't express that much emotion. It's like a person, especially somebody that you're in a close, intimate connection with. If something shifts in you, you can pick up on it. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like with your person of interest, it's kind of their own insecurities and fears but I feel like they're still kind of thinking the best. And like I said, like, I don't know your life. I always say with stuff like this, when before I say things like this, I qualify it with, if your person is like a manipulative, abusive, sociopathic, narky asshole, then no, I am not saying that there's any hope for this connection, because there is no hope for them as a human. All right. At least not in reference to you, because you would not be the person who would deliver them, from asunder. Right. But in the context of, if this is a partnership where you guys have more or less kind of hit a rough patch and there's been a level of neglect. So, say hypothetically, like if your person of interest, you guys are in a committed relationship and they got this new job, and they, like, for the last 2 years or so, they've been so dedicated to their career that they, really haven't been connecting with you. Like, you guys haven't been having date nights, like you're barely sleeping together and stuff like that. You've said things about it and they're just like, well, what do you want me to do? I gotta work. You know what I'm saying? If things have gotten to a point like that, I feel with you guys pulling back, and again, I don't feel like you guys pulled back like as a manipulation tactic or anything. I feel like you pulled back just out of genuine dissatisfaction, because it's like, I'm literally telling you that I'm not happy and like we have to fix this, and you're not taking the initiative. I feel as you guys kind of pulling back and thinking to yourselves, do I really want this? Is this the kind of connection that I want to be in? Because I do honestly believe you guys are having those thoughts of like, do I want to keep putting work into this? Do I see a future here? You know what I'm saying? Like, do I want to try to stick this out and hope things get better, or do I want to walk away? I feel like when you guys pulled back into that, which is this Four of Cups energy, I feel like that kind of snapped something in your person's head to where they started doing some self-reflecting, and they're kind of now seeing what it is that you've been saying, but now they're fearful of like, oh shit, I really love Libra, like this is my empress, right? Like this is my person. I really want to be with them, but it's like, I really did like fuck this up. Like this, like where it is that we are now, I contributed a great deal to this. So I feel a conversation just really needs to be had, because I feel with your person, they're willing to stick it out for the long haul. Like, I feel like they've kind of already put 10 toes down and made their decision. They ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I ain't leaving. I don't know if you leaving, but I ain't going nowhere. So I feel like that's kind of the headspace that they're in. But I kind of feel to move forward, to start to kind of, rebuild where it is that you guys are now, it would be beneficial to have a conversation. And I can't say that to your person of interest because they're not watching me. You are. You know what I'm saying? And even if you the cross watcher, don't be cross watching these, child. But since you're here, I feel like you should be the one to have a conversation to kind of iron this out. You know what I'm saying? Because there is potential here for this to move forward. I'm not really seeing any adverse things of like, your person of interest, like, being self-serving and all the other kind of things. I'm not really seeing that. The main thing I'm really seeing in their energy is them really being marred by the fear of you leaving them. And I feel that that can easily be solved, like with a conversation and you being honest about how it is that you feel. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you have been working a lot, because I feel that your person of interest is at a place where they could be like, yeah, I have been. You're absolutely right. You've been saying that. It's like, I've been, way too focused on work and I really haven't been present. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like you guys can kind of heal that. And then a book that I have been recommending this month, because y'all know I'm always here for the therapy resources. Dr. Sue Johnson, she is the creator of emotion focused therapy. I absolutely adore her. I think every single therapist that does couples therapy absolutely adores her. But after she, sold all of her stuff to us, she literally did marriage therapy in book form. So I know like couples therapy is expensive. I'm not going to lie. I think I'm kind of on the lower end nationally, because nationally all therapists pretty much charge the same thing. But I think for me, for couples therapy, I'm kind of on the lower end, but it's still expensive. And insurance does not cover for couples therapy, if you didn't know. You know what I'm saying? but because they consider that a luxury, which I think is insane, because a partnership being the, I'm not going to go on a rant, I don't understand how that's a luxury, but that's neither here nor there. But she literally took and put like couples therapy in a book. So the way that it works is like, a couple, you both get the book, and now there's like a workbook and stuff for it. And you guys read a chapter every week, and then you do like the assignment, and at the end of the week you come together and discuss it. So the whole premise of it is to rebuild like intimacy and a connection whenever you have breakdowns like this, because something I often say is that, in a romantic connection, you could be married for 30 years and the intimacy could have broken down in your relationship in the first year you were married. And like from the moment that intimacy breaks down, like there's no longer a relationship there. And the simple definition of intimacy is when you believe that your other partner, your person, has your best interest at heart. Intimacy is broken down the moment that one person in that connection stops believing the other person has their best interest at heart. And from that moment, you're just roommates. You're no longer in a romantic, connection, like you call it that. But when intimacy is broken down in a relationship, it's no longer a relationship. And emotion focused therapy is really about getting back to the heart of things and being able to be vulnerable and to let down those guards and, to reconnect that intimacy with your person. So I have it in a couple of videos that I've done. I've recommended the book, and I put the link in the description box. So the link to that book is going to be in the description box below this video, or it's going to be in the comments. But that is a therapist recommended book from me for sure, for where it is that you guys are in your partnership. I think that would be a really great place to start to kind of get you guys back on track and moving forward. So anywho, Libra, that has been your connection session for January. I hope that has helped. I will see you guys